Hello, welcome to Run Testers. My name's Nick. In this video, I'm going to be comparing the Asics Megablast and the Nike Zoom Fly 6. The Zoom Fly 6 and the Megablast are both excellent all-rounders or super trainers that can handle a really wide variety of training. They are fast shoes, but they are more comfortable and durable and better for regular use than all-out racing shoes. And they're both pretty expensive, but the Megablast certainly takes the cake when it comes to the pricing. It is £210 or $225. The Zoom Fly 6 is £155 or $170, so it's definitely one of the more reasonably priced super trainers out there. Megablast is a lighter shoe though. It weighs in at 241 grams or 8.9 ounces in a UK 9. The Zoom Fly 6 is 266 grams or 9.4 ounces in the same size. Both of them are US 10s. Got an 8mm drop on both shoes, but the Megablast has a higher stack height of 46mm at the heel, 38 at the forefoot. The Zoom Fly 6 is 42mm at the heel, 34mm at the forefoot. When it comes to the design of the two shoes, with the Zoom Fly 6, you've got a dual layer mesh upper. It's quite a thick upper, especially around the forefoot for what is quite a speed focused shoe. You've also got a generous amount of padding around the back of the shoe and even a little bit on the tongue as well. So it's a pretty comfortable upper for sure. Then you've got a dual density midsole with a top layer of Nike's Zoom X foam, the bouncy, propulsive, best foam they use on all of their kind of top shoes these days. And then a bottom layer of SR02 carrier foam, basically a foam that's just there to maybe add a bit more stability and durability to the shoe. And you've also got a full length carbon plate in the midsole, but it's a bit more flexible than the ones you'll find on Nike's racing shoes. Then when it comes to the outsole, you've got good rubber coverage on the forefoot and heel, pretty thick layer of it as well. I've not seen any signs of wear and tear in that after about 140k in the shoe. Then the Megablast, you've got an engineered woven mesh upper. It feels a little bit thinner and more breathable, I would say, than the one on the Nike around the forefoot. You've actually got slightly less padding around the heel as well, although there is still a fairly good amount of padding at the back of the Megablast for comfort there. The midsole is entirely made of Asics' FF Turbo Squared foam, which is the foam that offers the most energy return in their range. It's a very resilient foam that gives you a lot of bounce. You've obviously got a huge stack of it on the Megablast, but there's no plate in the midsole of the Asics Megablast, but it is still a pretty stiff shoe. I'd say it's more or less equivalent to the Zoom Fly 6 in terms of stiffness, maybe even stiffer, despite the fact there's no plate in there. You've got an Asics grip outsole with pretty minimal coverage, I would say. The key areas on the forefoot and heel are covered, but there's a lot of exposed foam on the bottom of the Megablast, but that hasn't really impacted it in terms of durability at all yet after about 160k of testing. So it comes to the fit of the Zoom Fly 6 and the Asics Megablast. I've got my usual size for both of these brands with these shoes, and I have a good fit with both of them. Got a nice amount of room around the toes, a secure hold around the heel and midfoot. They both have pretty comfortable fits, I would say, for what are shoes that can handle pretty fast running or even racing. You get a nice amount of padding around the heel. The slip-in comfort is pretty good. There's no things like lace bite or any hot spots for me or rubbing when I've used them for long runs. So they're really nicely balanced up, as I would say, for shoes that you are going to use a lot in theory because they are all-rounders and you're getting comfort and a good fit with both of them. So I would stick to your normal running shoe size. On to run test then. I've done about 160 kilometers in the Asics Megablast and about 140 kilometers in the Zoom Fly 6. I've used the Megablast a lot of late since it came out as part of my marathon training ahead of the Loch Ness Marathon. I did the same with the Zoom Fly 6 back at the start of the year. Used them both for a really wide variety of runs. These are really versatile shoes. They give you a lot of comfort at easy paces, but they are pretty fast. I've done short rep sessions in both of these shoes, things like 1k or 1 mile, or even shorter than that at faster speeds, and then long tempo runs. I think I've done the exactly same long tempo run in both of these shoes, like a 15 miler at a good healthy pace. And I've also done relaxed runs, recovery runs, everything in them really. I even took the Megablast away as my only shoe for a holiday and just did all my running in it. And they're both exceptionally versatile shoes, I would say, that stand out on the market at large for that. They're both comfortable, they're both quick, they both really can do it all. So I had the Nike in first, and it was a bit of a revelation after the last few Zoom Fly models, which I hadn't been a fan of at all. They've just been bulky, heavy shoes that didn't really do any kind of run that well. The Zoom Fly 6 does every kind of run well. It's very much a contrast to that. And despite the fact it's a pretty big shoe, they haven't gone all out for a really lightweight design here. It is still pretty lightweight, but things like the more comfortable upper, the fairly substantial outsole tell you that this is a shoe that is being built to offer a bit of comfort and durability as well as speed, but it still does move very well at pace. I think the first run I did in it was a 10 times 1 mile session, and I was finishing those a pretty fast speed in the shoe. And every time I've called on the Zoomfly 6 for a fast run, it has delivered the goods. I don't think it's as flat out fast as some shoes out there, but it definitely has a really good amount of speed for a shoe that is so well balanced, in that it is comfortable at easy paces. Even with the plate in there, it doesn't feel stiff or uncomfortable. I think it's really nicely balanced, and it's not really unstable or anything like that as well, even though you have got not the widest or most stability focused design. I did find it was a good shoe for cruising around in at relaxed paces. And with the Megablast, you're getting the same kind of thing. It's a big shoe, but it is a very light shoe. I will say that it is lighter than the Zoomfly 6. And despite the fact it is quite a big design with a bit of blockiness going on that you sometimes get of Asics shoes, it does really move well when it comes to those fast paces. It's very good for sustaining fast paces. The absence of a plate in the Megablast doesn't really negatively affect it at all on that front compared to the Zoomfly 6 for me. Like, having done a very similar 15-mile kind of tempo bow shoes, it felt like equally comfortable and very good to hold the pace in both of these shoes. Megablast, I think, has a slightly softer feel, a springier feel, and I do think it gives you a bit more width, I would say, when it comes to easy runs. I wouldn't say it's more stable. Like, I find the Megablast very stable myself. Like, some people have felt that maybe it's a bit too soft around the heel, and you do get a slightly firmer design at the heel with the Nike, which maybe will make it feel a bit more stable there for some people. But I really like cruising around the Megablast, and I think it, despite the fact it is still a stiff shoe and a fast shoe, it has quite a relaxed feel for easy runs, and I think slightly more so than the Nike for me. And then I do think it also has a little bit of an edge when it comes to pace, because it is a lighter shoe, and the bounce you get from the FF Turbo Squared midsole foam really comes into play, and it it really does feel very fast in moving you onto your forefoot and giving you a lot of punch off your toes. These differences in the rifle were kind of drawn out for me when I did do a run in both shoes at the same time. Like, I've got nothing but fond memories of the Zoomfly 6. And I've worn it since we did our review, and I've always been really impressed by it. But when putting it head to head against the Megablast, the Asics does have that slightly livelier ride for me. I do think it moves you more quickly onto your forefoot, and you get a slightly bouncier feel off the toes, softer landing at the heel as well, and really at any kind of pace, it just maybe has a bit more life than the Zoomfly 6, which is still great itself at any kind of pace. But I do think maybe you're getting a slightly more impressive ride feel from the Megablast. So verdict, both the Zoomfly 6 and the Asics Megablast are very impressive all-rounders. You can use to do all your runs in and even race in, or add to a rotation to pick up the bulk of your training, and maybe just pair them with a more dedicated racing shoe, a carbon plate racing shoe, that kind of thing. They really do a very good job at a very wide range of paces, and they're certainly more versatile than your average shoe. They do excel in the same areas though, so I wouldn't look at getting both of these shoes myself for a rotation. I don't think there's really any kind of run that you could do in one that wouldn't also be good in the other. And then when it comes to a direct comparison of how they feel on those runs, I do prefer the feel of the Asics Megablast myself. I think you're getting a slightly more vibrant and exciting ride from the foams to the midsole, a bit more bounce, a bit more life. It's a lighter shoe as well, and I think that hasn't come at the cost of anything in terms of its performance for easy runs. It's stable, comfortable, feels very relaxed on those easy runs, but then really gives you a lot back when you start to push the pace. However, the gap between the performance level of both shoes is not massive. Like, the Zoomfly 6 is also very good for all those kind of runs, and the gap in price is pretty massive. So while I might rather be doing all of those runs in the Megablast, I'd probably rather be doing them in the Zoomfly 6 and be £55 richer, which is what the difference in price is, even before we look at the potential for sales on the Nike. So that's getting you halfway towards another really excellent running shoe. And the Megablast, as good as it is so expensive, and the Zoomfly 6 is a lot cheaper and an excellent shoe as well. And that's really the problem we have with the Megablast in all our videos of it. Like, I love its performance, it's fantastic. Tom just ran a marathon in it and loved doing that in it as well. It really is, I think, a step up from pretty much any other all-rounder out there in terms of its versatility and fun and liveliness on the run. But it's not a massive gap, and the price gap is massive, like I say. And the Zoomfly 6 is a fantastic shoe. If you just picked it up and used it for all your runs, I really don't think you'd ever worry about the fact you hadn't gone for the Megablast and what you might be missing out on. So yeah, the price gap is too big. So while I do think the Megablast is the better shoe here, and the one I'd use for the same kind of runs ahead of the Zoomfly 6 myself, I would buy the Zoomfly 6 because it's a lot cheaper and a fantastic shoe itself. So yeah, that's about where I'm landing on it. If money's not a problem, then yeah, the Megablast is great. You've probably already bought it by now. But in the more likely real world scenario is you're judging these running shoes a lot on price as well as performance, and the performance of both of these is great, and the Zoomfly 6 is a lot cheaper. That's a comparison of the Asics Megablast and the Nike Zoomfly 6. Please do like and subscribe, ring the little bell so you get notified when we drop a new video. Please check out the website, the podcast, and jump into the comments of any thoughts on these two shoes, and we'll see you next time.